once he gets something in his head, he doesn't stop until he achieves it.
He took the initiative to do better and be better, and he has very well exceeded that.
He decided that he wanted to be somebody.
He wasn't going to let anything stand in his way, and he was going to run through that wall to get on the other side of it, no matter what it was.
My name is Ryan Griffis. I started my TikTok platform in 2020 after my return from Iraq.
I met Ryan his freshman year, like I did a lot of students their freshman year. There was an incident in the hallway, and next thing you know, he's sitting in my office, and the assistant principal had the other student, and so he just sat in my office for a minute, and I always kind of give the students a chance to calm down, so I said, just give me a minute to finish this email. And so when I turned around, there sat Ryan across from my desk. And I just saw a kid that really needed some help and needed a friend in school. And so we talked about what he planned on doing, what he thought about school. Of course, that day it wasn't very pleasant for him. But I just said, let's talk about some things that the school has to offer you and to support some of the plans that you have. And I remember we talked about some of the athletic things that were connected to ROTC. He said ROTC was his favorite class. And so we just started talking about careers and things we could do through that. And so from that day forward, we just kind of formed a connection, partially because I mandated it. I said, you have to come see me once a week, and that was just a way to kind of keep track of him, So we did see each other frequently, and then it just became routine.
I see the same person now, just in a bigger form. He was very rambunctious, always pulling tricks on people, had a lot of live energy going on, kept everybody on their toes.
Personally, for me, I did have a rough childhood. My mom and dad were split up, and when I was 15, transitioned into high school. I met Amber then, and I was really fortunate to have the in-laws that I have now. Her mom and her dad took me in like I was their own. It gave me a place to live, and honestly, it kind of laid that foundation for me to have a father figure to look up to, and I needed throughout those times in high school. And it really paved the way to who I am today and how I look at life. I was a troubled kid going through a lot, and only thing, looking back on it now, it was just a cry for help.
I remember when Ryan was born. So I became part of the family by default, I guess, So I've known him his entire life. I've met people who are driven, but I've never met anyone as driven as Ryan is. And the one thing you can say to Ryan that will drive him even further is, I don't think you can do it. If you tell Ryan, yeah, this is not for you, he's going to prove you wrong, and he's going to do it in a big way.
I was a wild kid. Anything that involved adrenaline, just being in the life of a party, a big thing for us, me and all my friends would go out, jump off of bridges, rope swings, anything, and I was always just mischievous, but I think it was a good fun. Really grounded myself and made me realize at a young age that there is consequences to some of the stuff that you do. And I found myself in those situations being in trouble with the law, going to the principal's office. Miss Privet knows it. I was in a fight the second day of high school. So I think at an early age for me, I really had to grow up a lot because those consequences came at a very young age.
Came to my house, and again, I knew he was looking at the military. People approached me and said, you know, I think Ryan wants to join the military. Will you talk to him? And I said, well, I'll talk to him on one condition, is that you never ask me to talk him out of it, because I won't. I would never do that because, you know, I grew up in the military, spent 8 years in the Army, great 8 years. So I'm not the one to come to talk someone out of it. And they agreed, just talk to him, but he has some questions.
The whole journey isn't just my journey. Amber, my wife, we've been together since 7th and 8th grade. It's always been her and it's always been us working through all this together. And as I transitioned to active duty, I graduated in 2017 and we moved to Hawaii. We were 4,000 miles away from family with a 2-month-old. So she's really been the rock to the foundation that I have now. All the sacrifices that she has made to get me to where I'm at really just paved the way for what we're doing now.
Whenever Ryan started TikTok, I know he initially kind of started with a sobriety journey. So can you share a little bit, like, what was that like for you to watch him go through that journey of sobriety for that year?
The feeling of that, I guess, a lot of worry in the beginning. Where's it going to go? How far is he going to go? Going to relapse? How do I help him? How do I help him cope? Nobody wants to be that their child is an alcoholic. So that initially in itself is a lot to say, my child has a problem and my adult child has a problem.
So really TikTok was an out for me. When I got back from Iraq, it was a struggle and I felt like I had nobody. And I did have a lot of people in my corner that I could count on, but it was a new experience for me. And it's kind of weird because I opened up to social media before I did anybody else.
So, good question. I don't know if I can wrap this up in 60 seconds, but I'm going to give it a shot. So, I was exposed to alcohol at a very young age, so I naturally started drinking about 15 or 16 years old.
I'm 57 days sober. Let's go!
Yeah. 77 days sober.
I'm on vacation every single day. My heart is heavy.
It's 180 days being sober. Let's go! Mark, 6 months being sober. 233 days being sober.
Mama have to hit you after me and all my brothers stuck in champagne showers.
And I had a lot of comments and a lot of messages, and from then it went from 2 or 3 messages to 25,000 to 50,000. So many individuals that could relate and was like, hey, we're here for you, we're going through the same thing, or we've been through it. So it was an adrenaline rush for me to post another video, to really let people know what I was going through. And it wasn't just like the pretty and bright days, you know, it was the struggles, it was the dark days that I was going through. Byron and I, my younger brother, went sober for 365 days, and it has nothing to do with the deployment. However, I had so many people that was going through drug addiction, alcoholism, that was on board to support us that I had never met.
I think that's amazing that someone that I know influences a million people. And to me, from being a soldier and going to combat myself, relating to what he's trying to do, mental health is very important because a lot of people got PTSD and this, that, and the other, and they need an outlet. And when you look at TikTok videos or YouTube videos, you may get the inspiration that you need in order to keep going.
Like I said, I've never met anyone as driven as Ryan. And I think that the biggest impact in his life was he had so many people that were saying, you can't do it. You'll never leave the county. You know, you'll be just like everyone else. And that's why he's so driven, is because people told him he couldn't.
And I feel like what he's doing is as heroic as anything else he's ever done in the military.
Ryan has this platform where he's reaching out to people, and people reach out to him. You know, hey, I'm glad you said that because no one here listens to me. I don't really know you, but you know, your experiences with mental health resonate with me. Complete strangers are reaching out to him.
My ultimate goal, you know, coming from a small town, there is a lot of talk, and I know after videos and a lot of stuff goes public, people might think like, hey, he's better than I am, or he thinks that he's all that, and I'm not. I'm just as normal as everybody else. I don't think of myself of any higher than anybody else, and I just want to relay that with my platforms. My platforms isn't to seek attention, isn't to seek clout. If you go through my content, you can really see where I'm grounded at, and that's just to help individuals that are struggling, that are going through those issues and those troubles and trials that I had went through that I can relate to. So my ultimate goal is just to be a vessel for those individuals that are in need. That smile, it's not fake anymore. There's a lot of times where I had to fake that smile to be happy or to think that I was, but anymore, I really believe in that dude that's up there. I didn't believe in him for a long time. It was all a joke. It was fake smiles, a lot of troubles, a lot of trials, a lot of tough situations that I've had to overcome to get where I'm at today. And really, I wouldn't change nothing about it. I'm happy where I'm at, I'm blessed, and I said it in the beginning, if God is willing to wake me up each and every day with air in my lungs and a voice to speak, then I'll do it, and I won't stop until I'm heard around the world. And this is just the beginning.